Hi, Scrubs. I hope you're well.
Hello, you awesome people.
Hello, Starfam.
And we're back. It feels so long when we are just doing this every other month, but in fairness, it feels good for us to have a break in the meantime and really have time to think and plan and not stress, especially in these times. It's very nice for all of us. But yes, we're back with a new awesome topic that is like, I don't know what to say about it. I am just so impressed with the community at this point, and because they are doing big stuff, or we are all doing big stuff, really. And we're going to be talking about community-led events. And you're gonna know basically what we're gonna talk about soon. And of course, we cannot do this without any guests. And we have brought in experts. I would have to say, no, there are probably more people out there that are gonna be experts or also experts. You know what I mean. Anyway, here they are: Amelia, Sylvie, and April.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, we're so happy to have you all three here. We decided to have 3 guests this time because we wanted a various, different kinds of events that they have hosted and so on. So I'm gonna explain it all later anyway, so I'm just rambling as usual. I'm sorry. Let's get to it. Let's start with Amelia. How long have you been playing Star Stable Online?
I have been playing Star Stable since the English launch of the game, so 2012.
Ooh.
Started launch week.
I hear that people call us OGs, originals. I feel like a very old vampire. Because I've been watching Vampire Diaries, so that's why. But someone called me like, oh my god, you're OG. I'm like, what? Am I called?
People stopped me recently because I just hit level 23 and people thought I was cheating. I'm like, no, I've been around since the beginning.
Oh, I understand. And we can say here that she is not cheating. It is possible. It's been around as long as we have. You hit 23 by this time. Yes. Okay. And what is your favorite thing to do in Star Stable?
In Star Stable, I really like going back to areas that haven't been touched on in a while. And go back and try to remember all the old quests and or go to remade areas and be like, I remember when this came out, and just have a old time boomer moment sometimes. So yeah, just going back and hunting for lore and stuff and hidden secrets and that kind of thing.
Ooh, fun. Okay. And then, since we are going to be talking about community-led events, what community-led event have you hosted?
So I was one of the managers for the Jorvik Divine project. I'm currently one of the managers for the Jorvegian Collective, which is the offshoot group that came from Jorvik Divine. But I wrote the whole guidebook and organized the majority of that project back during the summer.
Ooh, can you tell us a little bit what it was sort of about? What you did?
Sure thing. So Jorvik Divine is a oracle deck, which is kind of like a tarot deck, but it's original meanings. All the meanings are based on the runes found around Star Stable. So I wrote the guidebook for if you wanted to do a reading for your future or whatever, you could do a card reading like you do with tarot. And so I organized with 20-something amazingly talented community artists throughout Star Stable. We had a bunch of translators come on to translate the project, editors, testers to make sure it was accessible. The wonderfully talented Jade, who is our other manager, she made all of the beautiful graphics for our social media. It was 60 people organized all to make this project. Wow. So it's a card deck. It's available to download. I believe the link is still up on our Instagram. If it's not, it's definitely on our Tumblr. And I'm happy to provide that for links in the description.
Yeah, that would be great.
For this.
Yeah, you will definitely find it down below. Hey, awesome! Welcome again. So fun to hear your answers later on then, because you have a very it's very different from what these other 2 have been doing. So let's get going with Sylvie. How long have you been playing as Star Stable Online?
See, a lot of people think I've been playing for a really long time, but I literally only started at the beginning of 2018.
Oh, you're such a little baby. Oh, okay. Compared to us, you're a little baby.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, actually, at this point, maybe you're more of a teenager now.
Yeah.
Oh well. What is your favorite thing to do in Star Stable?
I think at the moment it's got to be dressage. I love, making up routines with my club and just entering competitions. It's just such a huge community. So yeah, I think that's definitely my
Ooh,
favorite.
fun. Did you listen at our podcast about dressage?
I did. I
hope we didn't say anything that was wrong.
No, it was perfect.
Okay, thank you so much. And what community-led event have you hosted?
So I am one of the co-hosts of SSO Con, which is like a convention that we did that involved a bunch of creators, and we did a bunch of live streams over a weekend of just meetups and Q&As and all things Star Stable related. So we created that, and it's recently led into a kind of series of events that have kind of unfolded.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. And then we're going over to April. How long have you been playing Star Stable Online?
See, well, I'm not really an OG, and I'm not really a baby either.
Oh.
I started at the beginning of 2014, so yeah, I'm a bit of an in-between person.
Well, it's not that far away from my... Or did I start in 14? No. 13. No. What is yours? Anyway, moving on. What is your favorite thing to do in the game?
So mine's a bit of an obscure one. I really like going around different areas in the game and listening to the soundtracks, because I study like music production as one of like my modules, and so I would listen to it, the effects, and think how they managed to like create it in a studio, and then I'll often sometimes try to imitate that on pianos as well, or like recreate it myself. So yeah.
It's lovely.
If we ever do an episode with the music in the game, if we would to have someone from the office, I might actually share that story.
Yes.
What community-led event have you hosted?
I have hosted SSO Con with Sylvie back in July of 2020. It was basically an in-game convention, as like Sylvie spoke about, which was split across online live streams and in-game meetups and games and things. So
Cool. That is very cool. Awesome. Personal update of October, November. Since those are it feels like so long ago because we are already in December.
Wow.
Yeah, but of course, what have you been up to in October and November? TC, what have you been doing?
I don't remember very much of it, but in terms of Star Stable, spent a lot of time with the Halloween update. Because I quite enjoyed that. No surprises there, no shocks. And had, I think, I don't know, it was one or two different like little club event things that we did. Had like a hunt that we did where people would give different clues to then go to a character. If they got it right, then they got another clue, and they're all kind of not necessarily just Halloween based stuff, but we tried to kind of do it like that. So we had fun doing that, and messing about around the castle, and then collecting the stuff that we needed to get the spider and stuff like that. So mostly just working through the quest, things like that, other than doing any club stuff. I haven't been up to a huge amount. I don't think we did really much in the way last month though, in November. We're more active through October, to be honest.
Okay, interesting. Nice. And then, okay, CC, what have you been up to?
I've mostly been studying. It's kind of like the last push on my studies right now. I actually only have my my final project left.
Ooh,
yeah, kind of nerve-wracking.
Will be
so
fun.
Yeah. Just this week that just has passed, I had 3 assignments.
Oh my word.
So yeah, I'm kind of exhausted. So if I'm sound exhausted, like my brain is very tired.
I am now remembering why I don't like studying.
Yeah. Also during this week, I've been having a really rough cold.
Oh.
So that was horrible timing, and I was really bitter about that.
Yeah.
But I'm really proud of myself that I actually managed to make it work. So I actually finished everything on time. So
Nice.
Yay for you!
Yeah.
So happy for you.
Yay, thank you. So Star Stable was like really nice to just take a break from it all from time to time. Especially now with the new winter updates that are just like really cozy and cute and just very chill.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've also been hanging around with my clubmates a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's nice that Star Stable can be a break from
Yeah,
life.
really. It's so
Ah.
needed.
Yeah. Well, for me, I have, as usual, been working a lot. And it's kind of funny that whenever I stop working, I am in Star Stable, which is kind of work. So it's kind of funny. But I try not to work when I'm playing on my own. But it's kind of hard sometimes. Other than that, I have been streaming on Twitch, playing games with friends. World of Warcraft released their expansion. So I've been spending an entire weekend only to play that. Which I loved. It was a long time ago. I just had to put everything aside and just play a game that take all my time, and it's so needed. That is something I only did when I was young, like a lot younger than I am now. I'm not like old, even though I called myself old earlier. But it's very important to us actually, because when you get older, you have a lot of to-do lists. You have to do this. This. It's so important to actually just have at least one day when you just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's easily forgotten to do that. So, highly reminder if you're listening to this and you haven't had that in a long time, do that. And of course, I've been spending time in Star Stable, even though I also working while not working, exploring. So that's what I've been up to. Amelia, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been enjoying all the extra free time that this year has been giving me, but I've been working on a project in and out of Star Stable called Riders of Jorvik. It's obviously stuff with Jorvik, the Jorvegian Collective. We've been putting out props and stuff, but on my own, I'm making a project called Riders of Jorvik, which is kind of like D&D meets Star Stable, but it's like beginner friendly. Yeah, I just ordered the first physical copy. I can't sell it, but I made a physical copy for myself. I ordered it, and it's coming in the mail, and I'm very excited.
Cool. Awesome. And Sylvie, what have you been up to?
Ooh, well, I was extremely lucky to actually become a Star Stable ambassador at the beginning of kind of October time. So I was kind of very busy getting used to that and like creating projects and doing all of those things. So that was very exciting. Yes. And then I have been busy working on a solo project of mine, which was Soul Riders Strengthen, which is like a hashtag each month to kind of bring awareness to different diseases and issues that people might be experiencing and things like that. So I've been working on that, and then outside I've just kind of been working on university and studying and trying to get all of my assignments done. I'm also bang in the middle of like the run up to the end of the semester, so I'm stacked with assignments too. I've still got a couple left, but so hopefully that will settle down after I finish.
Yeah. Wish you luck with the studies, and also congratulations and welcome to the gang of ambassadors. So happy to have you on. And April, what have you been up to?
Not very interesting stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I've been focusing on finishing my studies because I'm again in my last year, so I have big exams coming up at the end in next summer. So I've been focusing on that, and I haven't really had much time to spend on Star Stable. And then I joined Glade Gamers, which is Quicksilver's obviously club, and my studies have basically gone out the window. I'm kind of addicted to Star Stable again. I'm not going to lie to you. So I've been basically playing a lot of that throughout November. But yeah, it really kind of brought me back into the game. So but otherwise, not very much.
Oh, well, there's pros and cons with Star Stable here as usual. I hope it still goes well with your studies, even though I'm happy that you're playing.
Thank you.
Okay, then moving on to the topic. So interesting. Okay, as I said, since we have 3 guests, we have decided to do this as an interview format this time. But of course, it is always okay to discuss. just saying that to anyone. Like, there might be some pop-up questions coming from me, or from CC, or TC, or anyone else. Like, it's okay if you feel like it. Okay, and we have, unfortunately, not been a part of the events that we are talking about today, like the Jorvik Divine or SSO Con. But I do believe CC joined the Jorvik Divine, and TC attended the SSO Con. So it will be so much fun to hear from them as well, what your experience were. And I do hope that I have time to join an event in the future, and I will mostly likely feel even more into it after hearing about your experiences of it. So yeah, let us begin, because you must be so tired of me. Or at least you're tired of me of always saying you're tired of me, so I need to do that. Okay, first question. Why did you want to host a community-led event? Amelia?
Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be a community-led event. I had the idea to do Jorvik Divine and make a Star Stable-inspired deck. And I just put the idea out there, like, maybe 2 or 3 people will be interested and we'll work on this for the rest of the year. And then 60 people reached out. And I'm like, okay. So, it kind of exploded from there. And as I was organizing it, I wanted to do more projects like this and like showcase creators and give people prompts all the time, or promote prompts and PSAs to help the artist community. And so the Jorvegian Collective and the ongoing promotion of that kind of developed out of Jorvik Divine exploding. I had like a following of like maybe 70 people, and then now the Jorvegian Collective account is like almost to 1,000, and it's just like, this blew up way faster than I was expecting. So I just wanted to do something fun, and then the community really latched onto it, and it was super exhilarating.
Oh, so, well, it is fun when it just suddenly happened. I have to say, like, yeah, I can imagine your shock, but it seems like it went very well, so that's fun. Sylvie, why did you want to host a community-led event?
Ooh, I think it kind of all, it just kind of all fell into place weirdly and wonderfully. We never kind of set up like the intention for it to be as big as it got, and April was the one who kind of came up with the original kind of idea, and then kind of brought it to me, and then we discussed it a bit more. But I think the timing wise of it, we just really wanted to create an event that kind of helped bring the community together during like this really tough year, and just also kind of add a bit more fun. Like, it's online as well, so there's nothing in person. A lot of events and things were cancelled that were in person and things like that. So just having an in-game event online where there's like no issues and no social distancing, all of that, it just made it seem just everyone really enjoyed it that way. So yeah.
Nice. Well, I remember seeing everything on Instagram, and it just like the icon and everything, it just looks so warm. I really liked it. When I saw it, I was very intrigued to see where it was going. April, why did you want to host a community-led event?
Well, I think Crumpet pretty much summed it up perfectly. I think the only thing I will really add, it's not very much, but it was just there to kind of give people something to look forward to just like lift their spirits and think, oh, okay, because the media makes everything seem like it's going downhill, and I just wanted to bring across the message that there's good things that in this year, like it's not all bad, was basically what we kind of wanted to bring with it. So yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Oh, I love those answers, and also it gives it's a new way of coming together. Like, we have been able to gather on the internet before, but it has exploded this year, and all of you have shown that it is definitely possible, and it can be done in a very, very perfect way. And as you said, give everyone something to look forward to, even if it isn't in reality. You can do it in the comforts of your home. So yeah, that's nice. Let's see now. Emilia, how long did it take for you to plan?
That's a little bit difficult to track, because like the original idea before it all exploded took about a week to just put like the concept together. But Jorvik Divine ended up being rush planned in a month, because we had our our big explosion of a team. And then it took 4 months to produce in total. So from I put up the concept to the deck was released was a 4-month cycle, and we were constantly on the fly because I was not expecting to be organizing that many people. So difficult to timeline that since it was a lot on the fly.
Would you say it was almost like 8 hours a day, like a full-time job?
It got to that definitely some days, particularly on Wednesdays and Thursdays, because that was when our like checkpoint and like, here's what we need to get done for the week. And that was me organizing a bunch of that and me coordinating with Jade, our other manager, to get graphics out. And then Thursday was, we got to communicate with the community about what's going on. Here are updates, XYZ. And so those were 8-hour days. And then the rest of the week was 6 to 7 hours still. It was a lot of time put in, particularly when I was writing the guidebook. I think I put out like 15K words in a week to get it together. So, and then it was editing. And editing takes me a long time.
Yes, it does. It tends to do that. Well, interesting. Nice. Let's see now. Okay, Sylvie, how long did it take for you to plan SSO Con?
This is like an interesting question because, again, I have no idea. I think, April, do you remember?
I do. Yeah, vaguely. Just because I was just thinking, wow. Yeah, I do. I vaguely remember. I was thinking about the idea beginning of May for about like a week. Is when I came up with it, and then this was in May. Okay, so then a couple of weeks later, that was when I started acting on it, and the first thing I did was go to Sylvie and be like, "Hey, help me!" And so she was like, "Yeah, sure." And by this time, I had already I had done a brief bit of messaging about to creators who we potentially wanted to get involved, and a big shout out to Corin Mistill for that because she helped me get in a lot of creators because I couldn't do it on my own. And then we basically started forming the project about mid-May. Started actually working on it, and of course the actual event was in July, beginning of July, so it took us good about 2 months probably to put it from start to finish. But from like the middle of May all the way up to July, it was me and Sylvie doing it quite constantly. So yeah,
that seems like no time at all, doesn't it, when you look back now?
Not really.
Oh, well, it goes really fast, I'm not gonna lie, because you get so absorbed into stuff. It goes really quickly. So
I also feel like it's ongoing as well. Like the minute you start an event, I don't think it'll ever end. Like there's always things that you can do to keep like, things going. And like that was a start, and now we're just constantly planning new events. And like the minute we finish one event, we plan for the next event. So it's just ongoing.
That just shows that you really liked it and you had fun.
It was really fun, actually. It was so much fun. I loved it. I loved it so much. I do continue to love it every day.
Nice, awesome. Then moving on, what is important to think about when you want to host an event? For example, do you have a checklist of what needs to be done? Emilia, I think you basically already said this, but
yeah, definitely have a checklist. We had a whole Discord organized and breaking down every single job we needed to get done. We asked people like, this is the news, this is what's going on this week, XYZ if you want to promote this. So basically, but I think that continued from like just having a list of things and of what we had to do to, you need to have clear communication with the community and with everyone you're working with, because without them working together and everyone being on the same page, then you have hiccups and things have delays. And obviously we planned in for things need to be pushed or like if things fell behind. But just clear communication, like this is what's happening this week, and making sure everyone knows what they need to do when they need to have it done, and to communicate if they couldn't hit that deadline. That was the biggest thing to keep things moving forward, and to make sure that we all could adjust. Like this is when we're going to release the previews of all the card art. Like, oh no, wait, this person couldn't get their art in because they had to go to the doctor or whatever. So we would push it off and fill something else in. And so just making sure that everyone was talking to me and Jade to make sure that we stayed on track. That was the biggest part of it, I think.
Interesting. Yeah. Sylvie, same question. What is important to think about when you want to host an event?
I think the key thing for me is originality. Like, that is probably the main thing. If you create something that's so unique and you can like finish it and pull it off, that's what people will want to come. Just simply because like the more original you get, it means that people haven't ever attended it before, and it encourages people to come because they've never seen it, so they want to see what it's all about. So I think originality definitely is one thing, but also kind of keeping organized. Discord is such a handy thing to use. We also have a Discord server that we just kind of kept. I always felt bad for nagging people, just asking people, being like, please can you get this in? So don't feel bad, like you just have to keep nagging people to get them done. Yeah, definitely just keeping on track of organization and just everything that, like, before we started the event, we wrote out everything that could possibly go wrong.
Literally wrote it out.
Literally, just went through it, and I was like, right, this could happen. The servers crash. What happens if we do that? Because then you can then think about, well, if that happens, what are you going to do to fix it or do in the meantime? So we had to kind of make sure that we had a backup plan and then a backup plan for that in case everything went wrong. So if the servers crashed and no one could get on, then we would just switch to the streams and all of those things. So it's just important to kind of think about also what could go wrong, just so that you're like prepared for everything.
Okay. April, do you have anything to add to that?
I think this is a little bit of a little bit of a tangent. Is I think balance. When we were planning SSO Con, there were days when me and Sylvie spent an unhealthy amount of time working on it, into early hours of the morning, and like pretty much giving up our sleep and like proper eating schedules and stuff like that. And so I just think you got to take into account like your own self-care as well as like working on the event, because there's no point on like an unhealthy mind, you know, running an event, because it's not gonna be good in like in the end. So just making sure to continue to look after yourself the same way you would every day if you weren't running an event.
Yeah, in the end, otherwise it wouldn't have been as much fun.
Because if you're tired when you do it, you're not going to be able to enjoy it as much as you'd like to. So yeah,
I just want to add everything you're saying right now. Have you put this event on your resumes?
I actually have. Yeah, I put it on my university application, and I got an offer 4 days after I sent it off.
Nice.
Both of you, like the other of you, add it to your resume. This is what you need. When they read about this, like new employees, they are not unfamiliar with the internet. We have even talked about like raid leaders. Add a raid leader to your resume, like doing stuff in games, like organizing people voluntarily and for free, and get it done with something that you can show later, like this is the result, like the tarot cards, Jorvik Divine, and you can show like these are the streams that ended up. You can show your graphics and everything, like you can proper show proof that this happened. Add it to your resume. It's absolutely perfect.
I already did. I did, and then I applied to Star Stable, so
perfect. That is amazing. That's good. Good that you let me know. Emilia, is there something important to think about when you ask creators to attend or help with your event? Like for you asking to help out with your project?
Definitely. Obviously, the communication point that I already talked about, but also because originally we were gonna be like, oh, we're gonna crowdfund this and we'll fund a physical desk, and then we tried to contact Star Stable and we're like, is this okay? And they never got back to us. So one of the things to remember when organizing projects like this, and I think it panned out because everyone had extra time this year, but make sure for particularly for artists, like, hey, we're going to be doing this art for free, because I don't like the idea of like, hey, you get promotion in this project if you participate, because promotion does not equal like payment for an artist. And so making sure that everyone knows, like,
yeah,
this is going to be free, we can't do money for this is why I think Jorvik Divine in the future, or Jorvegian Collective in the future, we're going to try and donate to charities, but because we can't really make money off of our products, it's kind of just the expectation that this is for free, you're doing this for fun, and the balance point that April brought up, making sure that they balance their life with producing something. I mean, the art that came out in the deck is gorgeous, and like we had some insanely talented artists and like did that for free, and that should not be an expectation, but if they're willing to do that, thank them, plug their social medias, give them as much promotion as you can and exposure as you can, but like understand that that shouldn't be the expectation and you're not entitled to that.
I want to be half with Star Stable, apologize that we never got back to you.
You're gonna go in on Monday morning and you're just gonna be like, come here a minute.
What happened?
No, I mean, that was when the support was so overloaded they were still using bots, so we just got a bot response, and I'm like,
okay.
I don't think we're getting your back.
Something went through the cracks, but yeah, still we apologize that we never got back to you. Sylvie, same question. And basically, I guess April as well here. Like, what do you think is the most important thing to think about when asking creators? Because you asked people to join streams and have events in game, right?
Yeah, I think like making sure everyone is happy, because we didn't want it to be the expectation that if you were to join the event, you had to stream, because not everyone's very comfortable doing that, and not everyone has like the technology to be able to do that. So we just had to like make it clear as well that, you know, that's not an expectation. You don't have to. You can literally just turn up and just, you know, chill and speak to people and chat and all of those things. So I think just making sure everyone was happy with like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of creators turn us down. Just because they were busy.
I'm sitting here like, we're like, yeah, I did. I'm sorry. You sound like I don't believe in your project. I just at that time when you came to ask, I just did not think I had the time. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Don't worry. Like there was a lot of people, but I think we had a lot of backlash for it, because everyone was like, well, where's this person? Well, where's this person? But like what they didn't understand was the behind the scenes, and we asked people, and they just either didn't get back to us, or they were like, oh yeah, no, I'm busy. I think sometimes it can be off-putting to people, but don't like just keep going with it, because it can even people like, even if someone doesn't have time for it, they can always have time for it next year. So I think just creating that foundation and then just going forward from there.
April?
Yeah, well, when we first sort of were bringing in the first lot of the first few creators, we wanted to go for people who we thought already were quite like interactive with the community and things like that. And then from there, we kind of had, as well as coming up with people ourselves, we kind of had a system of recommendations, so the creators could recommend people they thought would be really good for the project as well. It's important to like also, I think, make the people who are in your project feel involved as well. Like that is not just it's not a dictatorship, it's kind of like a democracy. You're all in it together. So just making them feel comfortable and like that their presence is important is key.
Yeah, and also as you Sylvie mentioned that like some people might not have time this time, but in the future it might go for the people that turn down your offer due to them feeling like they're not sure what was happening. Having the event, like I'm so happy you did have the event, because now you have something that you can show, like this is what we did last time as an example, so other creators hopefully will feel like, okay, now I get what you want and what you mean and what you want me to do, so to speak, as a creator, and they might be more inclined to say yes next time. So I'm really looking forward to, if you, as you said, you're planning other events, to see who anyone else could be joining next time instead. interested. Yeah, like that's gonna be fun. So also very important.
I'm not gonna lie, it took a lot of it took a lot of trust for the creators as well, in your event, and it's like, you know, it was a risk for them as well in some ways. So
But you did such a good job. And so did you. Of course, you did such a good job as well.
I was just going to add something onto that because as one of the people who attended that, I know that I remember going into a call with you guys and went, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I probably asked you about 20 million questions because I wanted to know what was happening, what the plan was, and also kind of like what you were talking about, like what happens if this happens? What happens if this goes wrong? What happens if the servers crash? Because that was important for me too. And I think I did feel that when I asked you those questions, you were good at saying, okay, well, we've thought about this, or this is a possibility that we could do instead. So I was like, okay, I feel like they know what they're doing here, you know? And I think that's important as well, because I think if I have noticed sometimes whenever people will come to you with an idea, sometimes it's literally just an idea, which sometimes is fine, but whenever it's something more substantial, I feel like you do have to do that little bit of background stuff and sort of say, have a backup plan for those things, because it puts more faith and sort of shows that you have thought this out pretty well. And I think that's important. I would say that's something, as a creator, I appreciated. So yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Good ad. Right. Amelia, would you say it is easier to hold an event outside of the game than in-game?
At least from my experience, yes, but I also don't have a huge following to come join my streams yet. At least with the communication point, because that was so vital to what we were doing. Being able to communicate without Phil interfering. And I know the filter just got updated, but at the time, the North American filter has been very strict, and so trying to communicate that in game would have been
it would have
very difficult. So definitely on Discord and being able to do it all out of game, or the vast majority out of the game, was a lot easier for me, and at least the project that we were doing.
Okay, nice. April, would you say it is easier to hold an event outside than in-game? Because you did sort of a mix between, I think.
Yeah, we had a huge mix between. I think for planning wise, I agree with Mealy. It's much easier to do out of the game to keep everything organized. That's as Crumpet said earlier, Discord was really useful for that. But I think for the actual event itself, in-game was really quite valuable to the community, because it's live, it's in the moment, you get to see it happen right there in front of you. And then of course, to try and be as inclusive as possible for those could tune into the YouTube streams and watch there if they couldn't actually be on the server. So I think always it's good to have a good mix of both. I think you should never depend, well, not never, but I would say it's much better to have a mix of both than depend heavily on one or the other.
Good.
So yeah.
Sylvie, do you have anything to add to that?
I think, what April said is pretty much it. I think just the most important thing is, like, when you're kind of planning an in-game event, it's really important to have that aspect of something that's online outside of the event, so like YouTube or Instagram, something like that, because obviously Star Stable can only handle so much. So you can only see so many people, and it can be, a lot of people are a little bit disappointed because they couldn't see their creators in game, but they could see them on the stream and see that they were actually in game. So it kind of created that kind of barrier, I suppose, because some people could see and some people couldn't. But if they couldn't, then they could always go on the stream and watch. So I know a lot of people had like the in-game and a stream up at the same time. So it kind of provided that, so people weren't too unhappy if they didn't manage to see a creator. So yeah.
Okay, good. Amelia, when we asked for questions, we noticed that the most common question was how to advertise the event. What would you say is the best way to spread awareness?
Well, it's going to depend, and this is going to get into, I've spent too much time researching SEO research kind of thing, but definitely you're going to want to be on Instagram because that's where a lot of Star Stable community members are right now. You want to be posting news updates same times of the day, same time of the week, and have a consistent hashtag that people can go to and find resources for your event so that all of it is collected together for everyone to find your event going on, and then obviously put it into the super popular Star Stable Online, SSO tags on there. And then get on other platforms as well, but Instagram is where the most of the community seems to be right now. So put it out there on Instagram and YouTube and have a consistent source for people to come back to, like the SSO Con main account, and then Jorvik Divine had the Jorvegian Collective as a main source of information account.
Smart. And also SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization.
Oh yes, yes, Search Engine Optimization.
Which is basically they words stick out. If you Google a certain word, you get a certain kind of information. If I think that is the correct.
Yes, that's
facts.
that's right.
Nice. April, the same question. What would you say is the best way to advertise the event?
I think when it comes to advertising, it's important to have, well, first of all, have something that looks really clean and clear and professional always when it comes to advertising, because that helps people click on it, like, as Amelia said, through the hashtags and stuff you use on Instagram or whatnot. It catches the eye. I think another important thing, well, is what we did, is politely asked the creators involved to share posts that we posted on our Instagram, on like the SSO convention Instagram, to share them on their stories and help promote it. So I think using them was really, really helpful because they really helped spread the word around through their communities that they had built as well. But I think just being persistent, like Mealy said, is really, really key as well, and showing everyone that you're really committed to it. You're not going to flake out last minute, that you're just going to keep going with it. So yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. And Sylvie, same question.
I mean, we're very lucky in the way that we have a really nice balance because April is a queen at video editing. She literally does all of that, and it just comes out with such amazing, like, oh, it's just so good. And then I kind of like manage what kind of goes up and kind of where it all kind of pulls together, I suppose. So at the moment we're kind of flicking between where we'll have like a YouTube, like trailers. We love trailers. Is like the best thing. Having a trailer for an event just makes everyone so excited about it. So releasing a trailer and then having like an Instagram post that goes up as well, kind of coordinating them is always really good. But in terms of like actually kind of advertising, or at least kind of getting creators on board as well, just kind of politely asking and outlining things. So in terms of like a hashtag or something like that, I know a lot of people struggle to kind of have people join it. It's really good to kind of contact people before and be like, here's the plan, do you want to join? So it's like kind of those things is really handy. And I know a lot of creators and a lot of people out there that that are all like Star Stable related honestly don't mind people DMing. So don't be shy, and most likely like people will say yes, and if they say no, then they say no, and you know, you just got to move on. So yeah, I think just putting yourselves out there.
You're being so professional. I'm like, oh my god, you're amazing women, all of you. Fucking Pancake professionals. Ooh, so cool. Okay, Amelia, can you tell us of a moment when you were truly happy about hosting an event? Like, what happened?
I think CC can validate this because I like live tweeted it. I started crying when I went to go print the deck. I went to like a print shop and I was printing it off, and I was just like freaking out to everyone on our Discord. I'm like, oh my god, I have it in my hands, I'm cutting it, and they came back and I live streamed it to everyone, like, here's everyone's art. I'm still crying, it's beautiful. My partner came in with a knight outfit on to deliver it to me because he was finishing the cutting for me, and that made me laugh and stop crying, and it was but it was great. And just holding it, feels different holding something you made in your hands. And I wasn't able to print off the guidebook like we had hoped to, but even holding the deck and seeing how much work everyone had put into it and how gorgeous it came out, it was just like, this is amazing, and everyone coming together to do that just was beautiful.
Oh, that's a good moment. Nice. Sylvie, can you tell us of a moment when you were truly happy of hosting the event?
I'm gonna go for something different because I think I know what April's gonna answer. So
do you? Do you really?
I think so. So I'm gonna go at the beginning, and TC and I and April and a couple of other creators, we were in Cool like the night before till like early hours in the morning. Just kind of chatting through stream stuff. TC was like tech support. It was great. Literally just kind of going through things and being like, yeah, this is why something's lagging, and testing things out and being like, oh, can you join this stream and test out this bot and all of those things. Just the buzz of like before the event, everyone was like, it's just so lovely to see, because like it was almost like, you know, like your birthday, how you're so excited the night before, or Christmas, you're so excited the night before. It was just that buzz. It was just so lovely. Yeah, I will never forget it.
Love it. Okay. April, what was then your truly happy moment that Sylvie thinks she knows?
Yeah, I want to see afterwards if I say what she actually thought I was going to say. Because I probably will. I'll touch on it. But I think there are some bits I will mention that probably she didn't predict. So I think the first... there were obvious bits of moments before in the planning, like with Sylvie, where I was... it was all building. It was extremely exciting. And then I think the first key moment when I think I was truly like, wow, was like about 15 minutes before the first event started on the Saturday. We logged in, we went to the Midsummer area, which is where the main bit was before we like dived off, to see everyone standing in like a line waiting for the event to start. That they were just players in games. They don't even talk to each other. They were just standing, like, actually really quite neatly arranged in preparation for the event to start. And I think me and Sylvie was online as well at this point. We were standing on the top of the hill looking down at this massive crowd of people, and we were just sitting there on call going, wow, it's insane. I think that was probably the first moment. I think there were so many moments throughout the events where like we had such amazing fun seeing everyone come together and, you know, storming the Cloud Kingdom and stuff like that. But I don't think I ever realized it in the moment. That sounds really mean, but when the event finished, the whole weekend, I sat down and I cried for about 2 hours. Not even exaggerating, because my heart ached for it to continue. And that's how I knew I was so happy with it, is because I had it was like almost painful to not be continuing it for days again, like throughout the whole week. But it never really goes away, the truly happiness of it. I mean, like a couple of weeks later, the poster from our merch arrived, and I look at it every day on my wall, and it's, you know, it all comes back. So it never really goes away.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah. I mean, like, to add to it, there was also the moments of where, like, Star Stable would, like one of the posts, and we would scream. I would text.
We would fangirl so badly. We would fangirl so badly.
And then I remember Melly turning around to us and being like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to tell the office about this. And me and April were like, the office? They know? They know about us?
Yeah,
they know? And I was like, the amount of screams. Oh.
We fangirl so hard over like Star Stable. It's insane. It went further than we could ever imagine with the scale of it. So it was so awesome.
Oh.
I had a few similar moments to that. Someone dropped the name of the project in one of Melly's streams. She's like, oh yeah, I heard about that. We're going to put it in the office. And I'm like, what? Yes!
Yes. Yeah, Star Stable is basically like Illuminati. We're watching you, all of you. Add the music, the Illuminati music. Yeah.
Can you sometimes let us know so we can prepare a welcome banner for you?
Yeah, oh,
Here's your red carpet to my scrambled together project.
oh, no. Oh, stop it, you. I'm just on behalf of Star Stable. I don't know if right, or at least right here I am on behalf of Star Stable. I'm not.
Wait,
Star
quick question. Sylvie, was that what I was going to say? Did you think I was going to say that?
Yes.
Okay. You know me better than I know you.
Oh, nice.
Which bit exactly?
The first bit when we logged on.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah,
nice.
that's it.
Oh, okay. Amelia, what have you learned from your previous event, then, Jorvik Divine, that you think that you will think about for future community-led events that you will or might host?
So with that, I mean, the biggest thing about that is that I am now actually planning for people to respond to these events instead of just tossing out concepts and wondering if anyone will respond. So actually having the time to sit down and plan events, because Jorvegian Collective is planning on doing big summer events every summer, as that descriptor would imply. So actually having the time and the people interested to organize the thing instead of scrambling it together as more and more people hop onto the Discord, like actually putting something together that's organized is a big part of it. And learning the communication, because there were a couple of people who didn't think that Jorvik Divine was going to go as quickly as it was, and I didn't think it was going to go as quickly as it was until we had so many people, and I didn't want to hold up 60 people for months on end, so the timetables went down to just the summer. And so communicating generally better and having a plan, the two big things I learned on organizing this whole thing.
Okay, yeah, that's very good. Yeah, especially for you, since it just happened. Now you are prepared that it will happen. That is good. Sylvie, what have you learned from your previous event then that you will think about for future community-led events?
I think we were kind of going into it blindfolded because nothing like that had ever happened. So we kind of were just like didn't quite know how the servers would react. They actually reacted a lot better than we were all kind of expecting.
I know. It was insane. Like we tried so hard to crash the servers like for fun because Melly was like, let's do it, and we were like, yeah. But
we didn't do anything. Really.
Bad influence.
It didn't do anything though. We didn't lag it. It was like insane.
Good. That's a good relief to hear.
Yeah, they literally we didn't know how it was going to react. So now that we know what it will be like and the volume of people and things like that, we can kind of prepare a bit more and kind of know how it will run, which is handy. And then also when it comes to kind of expanding, because we're planning to, of course, bring back the event every single summer with a couple of pop-up events here and
We
there.
haven't actually announced that yet, but thanks, Sylvie.
Wait,
did we? Oh yeah, we did say that in our bio. Never mind. We haven't officially confirmed it though, but we did put it in the bio.
Yeah. Well, I just always everyone asks me on the DMs on the account. They're like, "Is it coming back next summer?" And I just reply back with the little eyes emoji, and they're like, "Does that mean yes or no?" And I'm like, "I don't know, maybe. I don't know."
Another eye emoji.
But yes, I think just knowing what happened last time and like how well the servers kind of reacted, and obviously not being able to see everyone, and we also learned that Star Stable prioritizes your groups and your friends and your clubs and not everyone else, so we kind of knew that. But yeah, just kind of knowing that will help us kind of better the event, and the feedback as well that also came in after the event will also really help try and make it better.
Okay. April, do you have anything to add to that?
Just to clarify, we used the friend group and club thing so that the creators could like see each other. So because they were split into areas, so it was just to make sure that they knew where everyone was. I'm gonna slightly contradict Sylvie here, very slightly. Was just because you said it's given us time to prepare for the volume of people. And the thing is so much has happened since the event that I'm not sure we can quite prepare ourselves for the volume of people, because we actually have no idea, because everything has a time lag. So since like since the event, everything is built over time because it's delayed from the actual time when it was, peaked. So I don't think there is a way we can prepare for that, but I do think that we can get a rough idea. We know the servers are stable and stuff like that, and we just have to coordinate that with the activity of each server in the region and stuff like that. But yes, it has like statistics and stuff from Star Stable has really helped us take into consideration for our future events.
Nice. Awesome to hear. Okay, Amelia, what would you say make a successful event?
I would say having fun is the biggest thing, because if you're not having fun when you're doing a big commitment like this, then it's probably not worth it, because if you're forcing yourself through the motions just to fulfill what everyone's expecting, then it's not going to be rewarding for you, because you're just like slogging through it. Obviously, don't decide the week before the thing is supposed to, the event is supposed to happen, or the product is supposed to come out, oh, nope, never mind, guys, I'm just gonna wipe my hands of this. But if you get a couple weeks into planning and you're like, this is too much for me, either look for people to help you organize it so that you can have fun doing it, or consider moving your timetable so you can make it more enjoyable for you. But yeah, a successful event, at least for me, isn't necessarily how many people show up, it's how much you enjoy it. And that's as an author as well. I don't need to be a Stephen King level author to feel successful in that I published a book. I can just look at my book and I did that. So feeling accomplished, I think, is more important than loads of people turning out, or lots of likes, or Instagram popularity, or whatever it might be.
Nice. Good advice. April, what would you say make a successful event?
I agree with Millie on the whole point of having fun while you do it. I mean, there will be occasional bits that has to be done, which you might not enjoy as much, but as long as the overall you're having fun, that is what's really important. I would also say making sure you have the time to be reliable with it, but also make the time, but not, as I said, in an unhealthy way. Making sure you can balance both. So I think having the time is really important, and also, as Sylvie said earlier, I'm sorry I'm just repeating what you guys say, originality is so key when it comes to events. Don't play off other people's events and things like that. I think it's always good to have your own different spin on it. Of course, there's a limited amount of ideas that one can, come up with in world time, but I just think making sure that what you're bringing to the table is your own, and knowing what is very important.
Yeah. Oh, that's also very good advice. Sylvie, same question. What makes a good event a successful event?
Yeah, I think going off of April, kind of if you create something that's already there, then people won't see it as something new. So using even putting twists on things, obviously SSO Con kind of has a twist because there's been other conventions out there as well, but we brought it into the game that we all play. So it's I always think utilizing the skills that you have outside of the game is really helpful. A lot of people often fall into YouTube and things like that because they see that everyone else does it. So like utilizing your skills. So for me, I really enjoy writing, so using that, putting it in, or I have a really good passion for something, or creating a management. So bringing that into a game that we play and enjoy is a really good way of bouncing ideas and things like that. I would also say having help. I don't think either April or I would have been able to pull it off.
Absolutely not. Don't be afraid to ask for help ever. Don't.
Yeah, it's just I think also being able to bounce ideas off of someone else, and especially because obviously April and I are quite close, so we get each other and we can bounce off of each other. So we'll just like quite often our conversations will just be in capitals, like, oh, idea, what if we did this? And then one of us will be like, actually, no, I don't think that will work. And they're like, oh, okay, well, what about this? And then we're like, yes, that's cool. So it's kind of like bouncing off of ideas.
Sometimes even just saying it to someone else can make you realize yourself that it won't work.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, I had an idea to Sylvie, and I was like, what about this? And then I was like, okay, reading that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So you actually, even just having someone to say it to can make you realize where you're making a mistake as well.
Yeah. And just like asking for advice as well, because we were very, very lucky to have Clara and Melly on board in the event, and obviously having their knowledge as well, we were kind of picking their brains, being like, so what server do you think we should have it on? Is there a quiet server? And then they were like, oh, well, hang on, let me go find out. And then having that kind of support was really, really handy. So definitely asking for advice is
It's perfect. Oh, that's nice to hear. Very good advice.
I have to agree with what Amelia said earlier about the time aspect of it. If you were to do an event and you bring a bunch of people in, and at the very last minute or the week before or the day before or something like that, you go, I can't be bothered with this, and you walk off, none of those people will trust you again and not put their faith in you to host something again. And I think that's very important, is you need to know that you can do it. And if you are starting to struggle, try and get some kind of help with it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very good advice as well. Awesome. Now I'm gonna let Amelia, April, and Sylvie breathe for a little bit. We're gonna talk to CC and TC. How was the experience for you when you attended one of these events as creators, helping out or being a guest? Let's start with CC.
Yeah. So I helped with Jorvik Divine. I was helping with the guidebook, so I helped translating it to Swedish. Alongside with Annie, Fluffy Annie. I think, it was quite a long time ago, it feels like. So it's a little bit hard to remember how it all started, but I think I first heard about the project from Evie, Evangeline Kingborn. She worked on some of the art.
She did 2 cards.
She was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, you should check out this cool new project and like see if you want to join me. So I was like, okay. So I checked it out and was like, what can I help with? And it was actually the first thing I, translated on that scale. So it was really fun. And I learned a lot from that experience. And also it really helped me personally in a way, like saving my summer, because at the beginning of the summer I lost my job due to COVID-19. I couldn't get a prolonged contract. So I had something to do. I felt like I was needed. I did something good. So that really saved me, like having that, to feel proud of. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. So
Gonna make me all emotional now.
Oh. Yeah, it was really cool. So
Nice.
also very hard. Like I was really grateful that I had Annie to work with, so I could talk ideas with, and like how would you translate this, or how would this sound. And also I had no experience with divination before, so a lot of the terms I had to Google and search and learn about to be able to translate them in a good way. So it was fun to learn about that as well.
Nice. Cool to hear your experience. TC, what was your experience with SSO Con?
It's just more of a question of where to start. I mean, one thing I will say, and I don't say this about a lot of things, but I was exceptionally proud to have been a part of it. There was nothing, I'd never been a part of anything like it before. I have the poster, I got the poster, and I love the poster. Like, it's brilliant. And it was a super fun event. It was very well organized. And like anytime I was like, well, what about this? It was thought about, or if it hadn't have been, it was like dealt with. And I really appreciated everything, all the time and effort that went into it with both Crumpet and April. And just generally everybody else that was involved with it. I got to meet some creators that I hadn't interacted with before, and that was actually a big part that I took away from it, because it was maybe something that I didn't expect. You know, it was mind-blowing being there and seeing all these people here. And the first day I wasn't even really supposed to be there, because I wasn't really free that day. I was supposed to go out with my family that day. And I think that was the Saturday, wasn't it? And basically I was sat here and I thought, well, I'll help out, because I did some, as Crumpet and April mentioned, some of the tech support the night before, because some people hadn't streamed before, and we were trying to like make sure that everything is working for everybody was comfortable and knew what they wanted to do, because some people hadn't streamed before and wanted to. So being able to help with that, I found that really fun, because I like helping with stuff like that. But yeah, no, whenever we finally were live, and I just sat with Crumpet for ages. I think for pretty much all of Saturday it ended up being, because my family never went out. So I was just like, I'll just stay here then. So I just hung around and sort of had a look around and made sure everything was kind of going okay. That was kind of most of my Saturday with that, and then Sunday I was officially supposed to be there, so then I did live stream and join in and all that. But no, it was really great to meet loads of different people from all over the world, get to obviously meet people in game. It was mind-blowing, it really was. One of my favorite moments though was when we went to Cloud Kingdom.
Okay.
Oh, so good.
That was just insane, because you kind of got to realize just maybe how many people were there. Also, when we did the big massive conga line the entire way down from Ireland up towards the balloon for Cloud Kingdom. So yeah, no, it was phenomenal. I really can't say enough, as you can probably tell.
Cool. Oh, awesome. As I said, I'm gonna be like, whenever someone asks me, I'm like, yes, tell me everything. I want to join. I want to be there. I want to be there. Please tell me time and book me as soon as you can. Getting back to you, host people. Amelia, for the players who are thinking about hosting an event, what advice would you want to give them?
Well, generally, I think I've said a lot of the advice. The communication, have your plans, don't do it on your own. I think all of that is good advice. I think also, don't use Jorvik Divine as like a hard reference point, because like I've said several times, that exploded in a way that is not normal. So like set your expectations for your event based on like the size of your community. If more people turn out, awesome. But like if you're expecting to have a Jorvik Divine or an SSO Con, I feel like you're going to end up disappointed, and that's going to hurt the successful event of feeling proud of what you made. Do all the social media things, get yourself out there, ask people to come, but set realistic expectations for yourself and what you're capable of, for that healthy balance between making the event and like living your life, but also so that you don't get let down if it doesn't go perfectly as planned, or if you don't reach as many people as you hoped. Because what you're making is obviously going to be great, but if you get your hopes up, then it's going to hurt your energy to keep making things. And your first time is just the foundation of your next project. And then your second project will be the foundation of your third project. So know that your first one is going to be your smallest, worst organized one, and it's only going to get better from there.
Yeah. It's just like basically holding events in club. The first time is an experience, and you learn from there.
Yeah.
April, what would you give as advice to anyone who's thinking about hosting an event?
I would say try not to bite off more than you can chew. I think it's important to start simple and build on it rather than jump straight to the finishing line. Because that way you can make sure everything is like fully completed and thought through, and it's as detailed as it possibly can be, whilst being able to run smoothly and things like that. I'd also say don't put too much pressure on yourself. That's kind of touching on Mealy's point. It's important to know you're in like what you expect is realistic, but also optimistic at the same time, because, you know, optimism is always great to have. So I think that's pretty much everything, but I would just say is just make sure you're not taking on too much at one point. And if you are, ask for help. Always very good.
It's kind of like plan for the worst, but hope for the best.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty good. That sums it up really well.
And Sylvie, what would you like to give as advice?
I think it's important to think about the meaning of your event. It doesn't have to be super kind of, you know, or it must have a deep meaning or something like that, but just like, why is it that you're creating the event? Because that's quite often, if you know, there's been times where, you know, we've gotten a bit stressed or April and I have just been like, oh, it's not working, I don't know what to do. And like reminding ourselves of why we're doing this is just a really good way to try and keep our spirits high and keep us going. And, you know, especially with big projects, just kind of being like, oh, but imagine how we feel when we get to that end point. So like having that meaning, you know, whether you want to raise money for a cause or just raise awareness or just to kind of lift up spirits, or kind of just, even if like the meaning is just because there's not very many events going on at the moment, just kind of having that meaning to just kind of refer back to when you're feeling a bit low is just really, really good.
Awesome advice, all of you. I love them all. So good. And we are getting close to our last question, which is getting back to like, how do you spread awareness? Well, here is a channel. Do you have any events that is up and coming? What will it be about? If not, do you have any idea what you will like to host?
Yeah, well, right now, the Jorvegian Collective is running a prompt challenge, much smaller than Star Stable's prompt challenge. So if you want something a little bit more manageable, we have that going on. It's on our Instagram, it's on our Tumblr, it's on our Twitter. We're going to be running prompt challenges. We were going to do Zines, but that was a little bit too much for currently Jade and I are the only managers on the collective. So we're going to be running prompts. We're going to have one. Star Stable just made it so much easier. We were going to do Horoscope, and then they just released their Zodiac, so that just made February much easier. As for our summer event, I'd like to give y'all a taste of what we're cooking up. It's not quite done baking yet, though. So I promise it'll be really interesting. Y'all will see around April or May what it is, but I promise it's going to be delicious.
Sounds cool.
Cool. Okay, and Sylvie, what are you planning? Are you planning anything? Well, I sort of know what's coming up.
Yes, we've been teasing a winter event that is happening on the 20th of December. It's a little winter event. We haven't released anything specific, so you'll just have to wait and see. But
it's here now.
It's just a little winter ball, the SSO Con winter ball, and yeah, I can't really say too much. But that's one of the main events they're planning, and obviously we're planning for next summer too. But yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, April? Maybe a little extra teaser that we can get out of you?
See, I don't know if I have the authority to do that. Neither one of us have the authority to do that, because it's, you know, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can. But it's okay, because all will be revealed really soon, because the 20th of December is quite close. It's not like you have like 3 months to wait. So it's going to be like...
okay, we will just have to wait and see, people. I tried. I tried it, but okay. Fine. Fine. Well, then again, when you are probably listening to this, you already know more than I do, or well, than we do by now. At least I think so anyway. But we'll see. That was the last question I had.
That's the case. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, okay, fine. It's fine. Do anyone else have anything to add or ask before we leave this topic?
I would just quickly like to do a quick shout out to the amazing Ange Blushy and Myra's Art, who created the artwork for the SSO Con logo, And for the poster that we were talking about, Myra was the one who drew it. So yeah,
Oh, awesome, Myra.
yes,
Aw.
they are awesome. They helped so much.
They really did. They helped so much with like the professional like image of the entire event, and it wouldn't look so well put together if it wasn't for them. So
Yeah, they did a
Awesome.
phenomenal job, so they did.
I watched the trailer, I think it was yesterday, and I was really, really surprised how well it really looked, and like, I can't wait for until 20th now. I want to know more.
I'd love to shout out the entire Jorvegian Collective team, but we'd be here for a while if I went through that whole list. So just everyone who worked on there, on the Jorvegian Collective YouTube, there's a list of everyone who worked on the project, and it's as well as it's in the guidebook. So if you go and download that, then you can see it's everyone and connect with them. So,
So cool.
Awesome.
And
but
also,
that's 60 people I don't want to list. Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I understand, but I'm so glad that all of you did the shout out to everyone, because as you said, like, your 3 are here, but there are tons of more people that actually helped you out and were part of this event. So that's very good that you did. Okay, leaving this topic for now. Something tells me we might want to rejoin this topic actually in the future. Will be awesome. Moving on to favorite and least favorite update of both October and November, and I'm so looking forward to this because these 2 months, they've been like, yeah, I'm looking forward. But I can start October. Favorite, like, I have to say Jorvik Wilds. I am, as I said when I saw I am not the one that like magical horses. Like, they are beautiful in the game and so on, but I tend to never buy them because I never ride them, as I've said so many times before. So I'm more for realistic horses. But then Jorvik Wilds happened, and I'm like, how did you know or that this is a horse that I did not know I needed? How I needed, and I have so many of them now. Beautifully done. The animations are so good. The colors are amazing, and I want more colors in the future. So yeah, definitely more of that. And least favorite, it was a really good month, October. Like, we had a Halloween stuff, which I would also have put as favorite, but I feel like I should be getting Jorvik Wilds because I know that someone else will say Halloween. So my least favorite was the H&M course. And it was mainly because it was another short and also sponsored event. It was fun, and I did love the jacket. The jacket is really, really good. And I do understand why H&M wanted to sponsor, and it had a purpose, because they do have H&M We Love Horses. And because of this, we got the awesome interview that Lisa did with Peter Fredriksson, which was, like, if you haven't seen that, go and see that. It was so funny and awesome. Interview, the sort of tutorial how Lisa does horses. So I get all that, but I'm like, did it really give me anything as a player more than just a jacket and a cool course that was gone after a few weeks? Other than that, so yeah, that's why it's sort of my least favorite. There, I'm gonna go with November. Then I'm gonna take a break. And November was also favorite Wildwoods. Duh. We have been waiting for 3 years, I think, since we had a new area. And then
Wow.
the doors sort of opened, and there was this. And also, I've been wanting like a proper woody area. Here it is. So loved it. And I live there now. I left Vale, and I lived in Wildwoods now. It is updated most likely. Least favorite, the limited edition quest of Mistfall. First of all, it was a kind of confusing. Even I was the one who thought it was an introduction to Wildwoods and not to the series. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's what it's supposed to like. Okay, that's cool. But it was really, really for the first time sort of players, and nothing really to end game players, except that you do get to see Embermane in that quest. But other than that, it was like, okay, I get access to an area I already have access to. And it didn't really give me a new feeling for Mistfall as an area. So that's why I felt like, I do hope, though, when the series is out, that maybe we get something else, something new to the game that also connects to the series later on, like next year or something. So that was me. Oh my god, I've been talking so much. TC, you go on. October and November.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to start off with my least favorite October, and it's exactly the same as yours, and for the same reasons.
Oh, Okay.
The H&M thing just didn't really add very much for me as a player. The jacket was great, but other than that, I did the race. The first, you know when you do it the first time and then you can do it a second time?
Yeah, for the
And then-
video.
And then I never went back.
Uh.
I don't even think I did a video.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I did not do a video. I rolled up, did the race, got the jacket, and left.
Pretty race. Was a good race.
Yeah, I didn't even do anything really there. In terms of my favorite, we know what it is. There's just
Yeah.
it's Halloween as
Yeah.
just a total. I loved Halloween this year. It was brilliant. Please keep adding on to it, I beg you. And I kind of got my demon horse, so I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I named him
Yeah.
Jerry, and I love him dearly.
Aw.
So, yeah, I know I really like Tomb Hoof a lot.
So cute.
I was really pleased with Halloween this year. I loved it. For November, I agree with you again on your least favorite. The quest with the Jorvik Rangers that was like just taking us back into Mistfall, it didn't add anything as an in-game player. I was just kind of like, I went to Mistfall, I put out some fires, because I was like, oh, we're gonna get something here about forest fires, this could be really educational, and then it just kind of stopped, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, if this had kind of gone into a little bit and maybe been a bit more environmental or something, I would have been actually like interested, because I was like, oh, this is gonna like talk about forest fires and maybe things you shouldn't do or whatever, and then it just didn't. I was kind of like, okay, I don't know what the purpose of this was other than just show Embermane. So for me,
Okay.
that's kind of why, like, because Embermane had kind of been spoiled already, I think if I had no idea that he was going to show up or anything at all, that would have been like, oh my god, what is that? And I think I would have had more of a reaction, but I think it's very difficult now, because so many things do get spoiled. In terms of my favorite thing of November, I am going... It's very hard not to mention the Jorvik Wilds. I know I didn't mention them for October, but I do love them. I love the second set more than the first set, but I am going to pick Wildwoods, because Wildwoods as a whole, collective, is stunning. So that was my favorite thing of November, because the only thing that I'm missing, and I'm still a little bit annoyed that it hasn't happened, and I know we've kind of had it a little bit, obviously we've started to go into December now, we've had some of the updates. There's no herds of wild deer roaming around Wildwoods. They're only in the races. That is my only thing.
What do you know? There might be coming. I don't know.
They better be.
I'm not... I have to aim just to make sure, but I don't know.
But yeah, no, that's the only thing for me that's missing with that, but it's still my favorite.
And the moose as well. We need the moose.
We need the moose now
Sorry.
too.
There is no moose in the Wildwoods.
The moose that was running around the Christmas stuff, I know we're not technically talking about that yet, but the moose that you're able to bring with you.
I meant that, sorry. Sorry.
That's a Christmas look. We don't know if it's ever coming to Wildwoods. No one knows. Okay, awesome, nice. I pretty much suspected this from UTC. I think you should switch it up a bit.
Okay, I'll try and be more spontaneous.
I'm kidding. Cece.
Least favorite is also the HMM Grand Prix, and also similar reasons. Do I want to say the obstacles were super cute? I really like that I have different themes based on different areas. The other updates were really strong with a lot of things to do. So this update was just so small and in comparison, and also like an endgame player, it didn't, as mentioned, didn't add that much. It was more like a fun thing to just take some pictures and that cute jacket, and that's it. So
it's not a cute jacket, it's a cool jacket. It's a Peter Friedrich.
okay. It's a sporty, fancy jacket.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I didn't even make it.
And the favorite for October, it was hard to choose between Halloween and Jorvik Wilds. but in the end I picked the Jorvik wild horses. Because they're just so fluffy and so adorable. I love them. So yeah, they're like dangerously cute. I might buy them all at some point.
And they will never be level 15, any of them.
Maybe not. Yeah,
Okay,
maybe
sorry.
like level 10.
My
Yeah.
god.
And then for November, for my least favorite, I also picked a time limited Jorvik Ranger Mystical quest. Because yeah, again, it was kind of smaller, and also it was really fast to play through, and yeah. Though the quest reward, little fire extinguisher, was really adorable. So yeah, that was a bit fun, but otherwise, yeah, it didn't add that much, as mentioned. So yeah. And for my favorite, I also picked Wildwoods.
Yes.
It was just so fun to like feel that excitement again over a new area, to explore, and I really liked that they had that Brissy collection paired up with the opening of Wildwoods.
The exact same thing, actually.
Yeah, I thought that was a smart move, because people are gonna run around and be like, oh my god, this is so pretty, like, and then it's and then add Brissy to it. That I thought that was really cute, and really appreciated that. And yeah, Wildwoods, I live there now also.
Like everyone there.
It's amazing. Yeah, I think like everyone lives there now. So yeah, I can't wait for more Wildwoods. It's amazing.
Cool. Okay, Amelia, what's your October and November least favorite and favorite updates?
Let's see. I feel like I'm gonna echo everyone's.
Well, it's gonna be.
I think least favorite is gonna be the HM pre for basically all the reasons that have already been said, and some. I'm not the biggest fan of that company, but we won't get into that. So that was just kind of it was just the least enjoyable as a high level player. Although it helped me train my New Jorvik Wild, so that was one good thing about it. Favorite I think is Halloween. Because it was just gorgeous seeing all of the new lore stuck in there, because that's what I really like. And that was about the time that I had started more seriously working on Riders of Jorvik, and I'm like, I can do so much with this. This is so much interesting stuff. And also, kind of as a side note, the interview that Star Stable put out with GM Layla about how it got made, I love that, both for everything that was said about it, but also about the idea of Star Stable putting out more information about how the game gets made. I think is so interesting. As someone who is interested in game design, to see that coming out of the company and seeing them talk more about how games are made, particularly for the younger audience, and particularly for girls who don't normally get to see that. So I love that. So took those two things, and Halloween was just fantastic. For November, I feel like I'm gonna rock the boat a tiny bit, because my most favorite and least favorite is Wildwoods. And let me explain. Because Wildwoods is of course gorgeous. I love it. It's beautiful. But so at the beginning of the year, I actually got to interview Layla, and we had like this long 4-hour interview. And in it, she said that there wasn't going to be a new area released this year. And then on Star Stable social media, they were saying like, there's not going to be a new area released this year. And even after the point that Wildwoods would have had to have been in development to release last month, they were still saying there's not going to be a new area this year. And then they flipped, and then Wildwoods came out. And obviously I'm excited to have it, but I don't want it to be a precedent with how they communicate with the community. Because I think even though this one turned out great for us, we got a new area, if this is how they decide to communicate with the community, like, oh, we're just going to surprise y'all, like, what else are they going to surprise on us? And that can go positively or negatively. So excited for the product itself, but I just want Star Stable to be more direct with how they talk to the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's really
Keeping that as a
good.
note.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice. Okay. April 1st. October and November.
I think for October, I'm gonna just agree with everyone else with the H&M Grand Prix. I don't think I even logged on for that update. Which, I mean, to be honest, I wasn't really playing religiously at the time because I had a lot of school. But yeah, I don't think it was. I don't know. I just think for all the reasons that you guys said, is probably sums it up. Definitely my favorite was the Jorvik Wild Horse launch for October, just because they were so stunning, and it was like almost, I don't even know how they managed, another step up for Star Stable. Like, it was insane. They managed, like, it was incredible, mind-blowing, really. And I mean, I fell in love with them instantly, so definitely was my favorite. I think for my least favorite for November was probably, don't come at me, was the Redwood Point nature race thing. Because I haven't even experienced it yet. I haven't even unlocked it yet. So I just think the reason I probably would mark that as my least favorite is just because I haven't really benefited from it being the update yet. I think my favorite, as everyone else has said, is Wildwood's release, because it was just, again, another incredible step up for Star Stable. It was so unbelievably gorgeous, and every day I log on, I'm there, I see it, I love it. It's beautiful, and the music is gorgeous as well, because I'm so like fascinated with the in-game music. It's just, amazing. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and Sylvie, what do you think about October and November?
I'm probably gonna say very much the same. Wildwood, both. Wildwoods was my favorite of November. Just obviously because it is so beautiful, and again, I also was waiting for a woods to kind of come out, and like an area which has trees, and they're massive trees as well. They didn't disappoint. Like, they're not just small trees, they're massive. It's just so pretty, and then the soundtrack, and also the fact that you can walk in the water without being put back on land is just incredible. Like, the amount of photos I've taken in the water, so good. Least favorite of November, I'm gonna do it back to front.
It's fine.
Is the Redwood Point nature race as well, because as someone who is very bad at keeping up with reputation, I also haven't experienced it yet, but I'm still waiting for it. But I think it might have been good to kind of put that with something that also came out for people who hadn't got the reputation up yet. So it would have been nice to kind of have a bit of both. And then October, I think the Jorvik Wilds, of course, are beautiful. I own so many of them. Like, I always said to myself that I would always get one of each breed. The Jorvik Wilds broke that for me. I've got like 5 of them. So yes, definitely that will be the main one. And my least favorite, although TC will probably hate me for this, is Halloween.
You just lost a friend.
I liked Halloween, but I just personally don't. Halloween's just not really something that I tend to kind of. Yeah, it's not something that I love. I'm more of a Christmas person, so Halloween is just not. Like, I loved like experiencing the update and kind of seeing Yidris and all of that. But yeah, it just wasn't something that was my favorite.
I was mad at him for locking up Galliper Thompson, I'll be really honest, but anyway.
Yeah, me too. So let's move on to the monthly wish of what you would like to have added into the game, and as usual, our guests can have it too. Let's start with April.
Well, for my first one, it's not so much of being added into the game, it's more of being kept in the game. Is the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. I would love for it to be, after this is like, after the winter has unfortunately left, for it to be moved to, as an event or something, after a certain time, to Dino Valley, so that you can see it at night, in the cold, and it would be so like, I just think it would also mean more people would go to Dino Valley and you could see them hanging out. I think that would be really cool. Something else added into the game, I kind of put me on the spot here, I don't really know. I think, can I do like update, potentially?
Yeah, absolutely.
To pair with the Aurora Borealis, I would love, it would be my dream to have Dino Valley updated. as well,
Mhm.
and to have a championship put in and a home stable put in.
Yeah.
Because I think it would also help drive more people to Dino Valley, because I think it's
Mhm.
one of the most underappreciated places on the map.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so beautiful, like so beautiful, and the music is epic. Sorry,
Yeah,
the music is just so epic.
Yeah.
It is very epic.
Yeah.
So yeah, those would be my two, I think, dream-like updates or whatever for the
Nice.
game.
What about you, Sylvie? What 2 wishes do you have?
Oh, okay. Well, the first one would be for octopuses to make an appearance in the game as a pet. An octopus. I love octopus. They are my favorite. So yeah, honestly, anything octopus related, I would love. Even like a little pet that like
Like a mini
slides
Garnock?
on the floor. Yeah. I know, like the baby Garnock. Oh, how cute it would be. Like a little, and it like uses its little 8 little legs and it like waddles along. Oh,
Okay.
And then my other one would be the Appaloosas to be updated. They are my favorite horse. They are the first horse that I ever bought on the game, and I love them to bits. Even though they aren't updated and they don't look as pretty as the other horses, they still I love them. So if they magically got a makeover, I would love it.
Well, they will most likely be updated sometime.
Mm.
Hopefully very soon. I hope you won't have to wait too long. And then, Amelia, what is your 2 wishes for future?
I have 2 ideas I've been sitting on for months, so I apologize if I get these have way too much detail because I've been sitting on it for forever.
Yeah, go ahead.
One of my ideas is using the crafting system. Pi will give you like a recipe to make a potion that will update your horse from an old model to a new model, so that all of those old models can get updated to the beautiful new models. And instead of like having to sell and replace your horse with the new model, if it's like one you've had since forever, because I've had my horses since forever. So I don't really want to train them again. So if I could just update them or pay like a couple of star coins to move them up to the new model without having to buy a second horse, that'd be amazing. My second one is a hidden shop where the currency is the hidden stars. So that there are like a bunch of like celestial themed rewards and maybe like a Jorvik or a magical horse with a star coat. And then when you buy something with the hidden stars, it resets a certain amount on your map, so you go back and find them. So you always have something to go and do after you bought something with your hidden stars. And so like just like a hidden celestial place that uses that hidden star mechanic a little bit more.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I like those ideas. Okay, and TC, your wish.
Oh gosh, right.
Yeah,
Well, I'm gonna try and relate it to what we've had. I suppose I'll bring it back to kind of what I mentioned earlier. What I'm only missing from Wildwoods is just more larger wild animals. I know we have the squirrels, we have the owls, we have the frogs, and things like that. But I would like to see more large wild animals roaming around Wildwoods. That would really, I think, lift it up that little bit. So I really hope that's something that we see.
Nice. Okay, and CC?
Yeah, I thought for this winter, I really like that Starship went with like a stargazing theme with the northern lights and celebrating winter. And I also really liked the this year's winter horse, the Hadrian.
Yeah,
it's so cute. And I would like to see more horses in that kind of style. Because Hadrian, it is based on the Northern mythology. But I also feel a little bit like it's based maybe on the star sign Capricorn. So I think it would be really cool to see like a zodiac sign series of magical horses. I think that would be really cute.
Okay. Nice idea.
Yeah.
Mine is very basic. I want a horse stylist in Wildwoods.
Aw.
That's all I want. Because I moved there and I'm like, okay, now, and I bought a new horse and I want to change and I have to take transport to somewhere.
Mm.
I want everything in center. This is why I live in the city. I cannot live in the countryside because I want everything close. So, like we didn't have a mailbox before, and then they added that. So I'm like, where could I hide that stylist, please add one. Like it's not space anywhere. Just add it somewhere.
They could
Make
put
it
a,
the
like
new one.
another little stall up where the other things are, and just make one of
Yeah,
the
or
rangers
make
suddenly
one of
have
them.
hairdressing skills.
Yes,
know?
yes, love that. Or make something because I'm the horse trainer that is up by the where they sell now.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Jorvik Walls. Before the Jorvik Walls was there, I was like, why are you here? You make no
Yeah, I was like
sense.
standing all alone. So sad.
Yes. Like it was like whoever standing, it was like we need a horse style. They were like, do we need really? It doesn't fit anywhere. And like maybe we can hide it here. That's it here. So like in that area, maybe add like a little horse stylist sort of zone. Like it doesn't need to look exactly like they have in the other places. Like make it Wildwoods themed.
Yeah.
Sort of. So yeah, that's what I would like to have there. It's the only thing I miss. Yes. Yeah, that was it. Oh goodness. So, like we record for like hours. It feels it is 2 hours at least, but it goes so fast. But it was such an interesting topic that we had, and I want to thank our guests so much for joining us and answering all our questions.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It was really kind.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, and as I said, looking forward to your events that is up and coming, and to hear whatever you come up with next. And also, of course, anyone who's listening who has now got an idea, like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm so looking forward to your event as well. Yes, you know. Yes, but yeah, next time you won't need to wait that long until you hear from us again, because as we said, this year is ending, and you know what that means.
Yep.
And well, sort of, we know we said that every other month, but this is sort of like we call it a bonus episode then, because we need to do it after the new year or after the very last update of the year. And it's probably one of my most favorite episodes that we do because it's so much fun to just nerd what we have gotten this year. But yeah, thank you everyone who was watching. We wish you all a very Merry Christmas, I guess, or Happy Holidays in general.
Yeah.
And remember to stay awesome, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye!
Bye.
Bye!
Bye!